plans and the boards. There's like 5, 6 boards.
John Titus?
From John Titus. Well, John Titus was a graduate student at Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So he and David Larson started out and wrote a book on basically how to use chips, how to put chips together into making things. And it really was kind of before the microprocessor. And then when John Titus came along, he became a member of that book writing team. And he also created a bunch of prototypes for the examples that were given in some of the books, that were after the first one. So he's one of the authors that goes along with the whole string. So you could almost say that, because of John Titus, we have Microsoft, because John Titus being on the cover made the other magazine go to Ed, what's his name?
Roberts.
Ed Roberts, and create the Altair. And then when the Altair was on that cover, then Paul Allen saw it at the Harvard Square, and the whole thing turns into Microsoft. So you can trace Microsoft back to, in a weird kind of way, it would be on one of those like TV connection shows, to David Larson. Even though, nobody sees that without knowing the whole story.
Okay.
So over the whole history, they made, I don't know how many, 60, 70 different books. They were translated into languages all over the world. So, it sold millions of copies. So it's a pretty big deal. And I had the first ones as a kid. And, that was like one of the reference books. You had that, and you had the TI 74 series, TTL chips were your reference books to how to put stuff together.
Okay.
And we do have in my collection, there's a bunch of the prototypes that John Titus made, along with a whole bunch of others. And you've seen a lot of it, but may not have put it all together. There's a lot of Mark 8s and things in the collection, a couple of which were put on the bad shelf. Because they look so bad. So, it just goes to show you, I told the kids that something happens to me or to, that everything is potentially worth a fortune. Just be careful.
Yeah.